Rape myths are prejudicial, false beliefs about sexual assaults. They often serve to excuse sexual aggression, create hostility towards victims, and bias criminal prosecution.
Myth: women are most likely to be raped outside, after dark, and by a stranger. Fact: only around 10% of rapes are committed by strangers.
Myth: people often lie about being raped because they regret having sex with someone out of spite or for attention. Fact: false allegations of rape are very rare. Only 4% of cases of sexual violence reported to the UK police are found to be false.
Myth: someone who's drunk lots of alcohol or taken drugs shouldn't complain if they end up being raped or sexually assaulted. Fact: in law, consent to sex is when someone agrees by choice and has the freedom and capacity to make that choice. Drugs and alcohol incapacitate the victim.
Myth: if two people had sex with each other before, it's okay to have sex again, especially if they're in a relationship. Fact: consent must be given and received every time two people engage in sexual contact. Consent is not continuous. 14% of women are victims of rape committed by their husbands.
Myth: only young, attractive women and girls who flirt and wear revealing clothes are raped. Fact: rape is an act of violence and control. The perceived attractiveness of a victim has very little to do with it.
Myth: people sometimes play hard to get and say no when they really mean yes. Fact: silence does not mean consent. It is the responsibility of the person initiating or escalating sexual activity to gain explicit consent at each and every act, every time.
Myth: any delay in reporting the rape is suspicious. Fact: delayed reports in sexual assaults are very common, especially if the victim knows the perpetrator. 14% of people take more than 6 months to report assaults.
Myth: a person being raped could stop the rapist if they really wanted to. Fact: a freeze response is a normal response to trauma, rendering a victim unable to physically fight back. Coercion, threats, and manipulation are often used to commit sexual violence and keep the victim from fighting back.
Myth: if a rape victim isn't visibly upset by the experience, it probably wasn't a rape. Fact: trauma responses can differ. Some may laugh, some may cry, and others will not show any emotions. Minimization, suppression, numbness, and dissociation are common coping mechanisms that present after rape.
Myth: you can spot a rapist by the way they look. Fact: rapists are not physically identifiable. Most rapists appear to be normal people in our society and come from all races, religions, and socio-economic groups.
Myth: perpetrators commit rape for sexual needs or uncontrollable urges. Fact: sexual gratification is not a motive for rape. Perpetrators seek domination and physical aggression as they lack control in other situations. Rape is an intentional act, and any urge for sexual gratification does not excuse the perpetrator.
Myth: if the rapist is under the influence of drugs or alcohol, they may have done it by accident. Fact: intoxication does not mean that the perpetrator is free from guilt. Rape is a general intent crime, meaning the prosecutors just have to prove a rapist was being negligent or reckless, such as being intoxicated.
Myth: only women and gay men are raped. Fact: anyone is at risk of rape victimization, regardless of background, sexual orientation, gender, etc. However, some are at more risk than others: women, children, and those with disabilities.
These are just some examples of common rape myths. There are more. The prevalence of rape myths can be detrimental to the victims, perpetrators, and society. Please be aware that these stereotypes exist.